Khashayar is a queer Iranian-born Toronto-based poet, writer, and translator.
So I want to talk less and read more. So just so you know, this is the piece. I hope it. Okay, I'm gonna. If you see this, there are like it's a little bit of a. It disappears. Okay, so it started with my. It started with the dilemma of knowing how to settle my problems with body-mind duality, and I created a piece that you could take different paths through. So I'm going to be reading that from the issue, and then I'm going to be reading a couple uh, poems from the same book length project that I'm working on. It's called The Body in Three Utterances. Part 1, Asked and Asked Until. There are endless paths to silence from the bend of the bow or barrels of gunpowder, emptied into and onto, silence piled onto mounds deciding whether intellect is, or it is not the body, or but a body if, tangled, is a message through centuries, woven into violence. Languages are a single life long. It is not the body or but a body if tangled is a message throughout the centuries woven in and out of colonies. The body and the body singing inside learns its own rhythm within history that if collected are only a single life long. It is not the body or but a body if not a vessel for an ecosystem. The silence of understanding between the gnashing teeth and the liminal space that surrounds discussions of the body system, the silence of understanding between the gnashing teeth of the predator, whisper, the embodied, the lingus, the corpus, the lexus, proceed, the inevitably bodied. The body and the body learns singing inside, learns its own rhythm, the way leaves wave and spill into gutters, mother, our understanding of death and decay. Sour. The body and the body learns singing inside, learns its own rhythm within history that if collected are only a single life long. It is not the body or but a body if not a vessel by a biosystem. The silence of understanding between the gnashing teeth of the predator. The tongue roots the body in language, in history, in ecography, in the pleasure of the muscle overtaking what the intellect deems the intellect. A body hanging from the cadaver of philosophy. 2. Pleasure enters and. Pleasure enters the body, or does the body enter pleasure? Orifice by orifice, sphincter by sphincter, a body as a spectacle, as a body in the process of accepting the arbitrary nature of its lineage, history caught in the predicament of its own inconsequence. A body as a spectacle, as a body without a will to preserve itself, an ideal torn from the web of its own lineage, matrica, matrix, the beginning of the membrane, or umbrage for the being, reductive to the discourse, the gender impression, the conserved momentum of capital, gender lost in bodies trapped in language. A body as a spectacle as a body without a will to preserve itself, an ideal torn from the rib of its own lineage, patriarch, patriot, patrimony, the invested hierarchy, or the member that is the stylus of the binary, reductive to the discourse, the gender expression, the conserved momentum of capital and preserved momentum, and segregated, an utterance, an iteration, a body genital to its own intellect. 3. Footprint. To stand, feet planted, and scale yourself to your footprint. So I'm going to read others from the same project. It's a broader project about the spaces, it's about the spaces, both like within the body and outside of the body, and histories of, Islamic idealism and Islamic thought. This one's called a Thomspsonian Ghazal for Zarathustra. The dawn suckling on my psyche, your eyes have the hunter's glow. Me and you, we share a silence, so I dwell in the subscript to keep up. Greek gods on every corner, sex toys and Plato's spawn. Most await to hear the absolute, but I just want the finite to speak. I wait for a knot to untangle as I run my hands through my father's hair. Prophets walked on this earth, and if not spoken to God, I bow simply to elaborate beguiling. A qarn, a century or similitude, a crux to reflect that single story foretold and retold. Kill the fire temple. Don't you know a new prophet has arisen? Send Zarathustra traveling west, may he meet Nietzsche. Cue theater rain. Shake the metal sheet for thunder. A simulacrum. The oceans boiling over. This last one is called My City, the City. My city, the city, or wherever I'm flung into the arms of back alleys and street corner routes. The art of lower class feeling to start at the shoe, asphalt, faulted at the foundation and sinking. I neighbor a dozen lanes by Allah just by proximity. I build clay bowls to crush. Can you feel the durability of the mosque dome? Fill the tile cracks in color. And my city isn't my city, at least not barefoot, arms stretched, cowering under transmission towers, rain trickling metal. Not this. Am partial to highways, having slept next to one. Wherever roads crackle beneath car tires is my ocean, chain linked and kept separate. Once my city, the city, Khane Badouche says the history book pointing fingers. The nomad says, no city or civilization, no organ for organization, seeding in ancient clothing, still unsure. You watch rain roll down the street where pass through car tires and flow rivers used to be. No city or civilization, but faith, but sky, the natural curve. My city resurrected in lafz, Lord manifest in names. I've forgotten. I'll study you. I'll study truth, and in words I'll manifest. A poetics of exile, scribed onto the cracked bas-relief of the imperial. A poetics of oppression, scribed into blood and up for auction. A poetics of blood, new fetish for capital. A poetics of capital, the cracks of history. A poetics of history, a poetics of exile. Fruit geography, animal geography, regional mythology, black, gray, white mythos. A poetics of compliance, Rumi at the helm, not our Rumi, not that man of action, tearing through the ego to rouse. A poetics of misunderstanding. A poetics of demand with no supply for solace. What do you seek in us? Inert as the line folds on its own vowels. A poetics of consonants. Consonants. We were everything until we scaled the mountain to our footsteps. We were everything until we were taught revelation. Who told you you were naked? And we lost the sense of the automotive, the apparatus of a single breath on a mountaintop, and the cunning invention of flags. Stop at the precipice of a new thought. The future has already been history. I'm just going to end with a tiny one. It's called From Mecca to Medina. Nothing new at the limit. Thoughts we stole. Day of mourning, week of mourning. Just my heart, the first terrorist. A single black stone to become the epicenter, soothsayer, doomsayer, hide and seek in marble what they call treasure. A pilgrimage so candlesome to the moth, solar to its conception of love. A call for being, a call for becoming. Thank you.